What's going on, everybody? It's November 7th, 2022, Daily Log episode number 46. And today we're going to cover US 500, the price action that unfolded, and what I was forecasting from the morning session. So let me go into Telegram. I was initially looking for the buy side liquidity to be ran and then for us to go lower. In the morning log, I stated to watch the 1 hour order block. And I said either watch how we trade into it after we take the buy stops or before we take the buy stops. So after about, I think, only 5 minutes after the open, I said to look for this fair value gap on the 15-minute, and then I was annotating the 1 hour bullish order block. It was inside of a discount. So if you haven't been here for long, I trade the YouTube model. So in these situations, I'm looking for price to reach down into my point of interest, whether that be on the 15-minute, 30-minute, hour, 4-hour, daily. And then I'm looking for the YouTube model to form inside of that area. The reason being is because probably about a year ago or so, I would catch myself trading the higher time frame, PD arrays, fair value gap, order block, breaker, etc. And there was a lot of times where I would, place a trade on an order block, fair value gap, and price would run right through it. And with the YouTube model, especially, it protects you because you can see it form inside of that POI zone. And that is that extra bit of confirmation that I like to have in my trades. So the reason I'm saying that is because there was no context for me to take a trade today, even based off the information that I said beforehand in the New York session. So let's go ahead and cover the weekly time frame. Honestly, doesn't give too much information. With elections tomorrow, the price action today was pretty expected, honestly, and I don't really have a bias coming into tomorrow because anything can honestly happen. I'd rather price action unfold and then we all just kind of reanalyze and see where price is going. So looking at the daily time frame, we have retraced a little bit higher than I initially anticipated. So it's going to be interesting to see if we trade lower from this fair value gap. We still have this bearish order block here. Let me check the 3-day. Doesn't really give much information, to be honest. I would still like the sell side liquidity to be attacked, but looking at the other indexes, it's pretty interesting. NASDAQ has a good amount of buy side liquidity resting above here, residing inside of that fair value gap as well, or SIBI. US 30, if it could take out that high there, we create a bearish SMT to send price lower on NASDAQ and US 500, that would be amazing. So that's kind of my thoughts going into tomorrow. Let's cover today. So we drove up higher into this fair value gap there, and then the balanced price range. If we close above that, we could see higher prices, to be honest. But I talked about the Friday high, if we were going to attack that on the beginning of the week, so today, and if we got there, it would be a little concerning for us to kind of go short. I needed that buy side liquidity to be ran and then a really fast displacement lower in order for me to kind of get into a short there. So looking at the morning session, let's drop down into 5-minute here. I'm actually going to split this. So I said to pay attention to actually this fair value gap here and then this order block. Ultimately, it was really the order block that I was looking for. So price dug down into this fair value gap and the order block, which is inside of a discount. So that's good for a bullish analysis, and especially if you're looking for the buy side liquidity to be ran, I think it's a really nice setup. Now, inside of that area, I'm looking for the YouTube model to form in order for me to go long. Okay, so if I drop down to a 5-minute here, or even lower, let's go to the beginning of the day here. So this is the open. Now, once price reaches into that fair value gap there, I'm looking and shifting through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm shifting through that to see if we can get that nice displacement with price returning into a fair value gap inside of a discount. So on the 1-minute, what is this? It's the YouTube model, but it's forming inside of that higher time frame context. You see how that works? And this is all fractal. It can work from 30-minute, 1 hour, daily, etc. Okay, so I'm looking for price to displace, have a shift above a high, return into a discount with a fair value gap. Now looking at this, was there anything for us to go long? Now, some may say this fair value gap there. The reason why you would not take that is because A, we haven't shifted above a previous high there. And if you've been following along, I like to have my fair value gaps on this model to be layered from a 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. Same goes for the shift above a previous high or low. So there was a 2-minute, no 3-minute, no 4-minute, no 5-minute. So that does not qualify us to get into a long. Looking at it again, and this is where I sort of became interested in looking at longs, because A, we reached down into the order block, and this fair value gap that was inside of a deeper discount. So price displaced higher. I'm initially looking at this fair value gap there. And again, this really isn't the cleanest fair value gap. I would rather have a wick, and I don't like that volume imbalance as well. 2-minute, there's really nothing there. Small little fair value gap. 3-minute, same thing, little fair value gap. 4-minute, 5-minute. So, and even looking at this, price needs to drop down into a discount. So it'd even need to drop down into this fair value gap here. Okay, and even if you took it from the body, it'd still need to drop down into this area. So I'm looking at this on the 1-minute, and I'm just analyzing it. Price never dips down into that discount. And the fair value gap to me is really not the cleanest fair value gap. So I just let this thing go. And then once price reached above the buy side liquidity, resting there, I noted in the chat to watch the SMT, because there is a bearish SMT with NASDAQ. So at the time that I reached above the high, look at the left chart. Let me see if I can get down to a 5-minute. NASDAQ failed to take the high there, and looking at US 30, US 30 is already taking the buy side liquidity where we are aiming towards. So that's a bearish SMT. So you should start to kind of watch for if price displaces really quickly the other way, especially on like a good liquidity point. This was US 30's previous day high. So price displaces extremely fast lower. Even if you're looking at, let's say, this fair value gap, there's nothing on the 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute, or even the 5-minute. So that doesn't qualify you to get in a trade, regardless that it's inside of a discount. Okay, along with the bearish SMT divergence. And then after that, I believe price just moved into consolidation, and I said I was officially done looking for trades after we took out the buy side liquidity and the SMT divergence. I believe there was a setup in, I believe, the PM session, but to me, it really wouldn't qualify. So I believe it was right there. Regardless, I'm not mad I missed this move. I really don't care because I wouldn't have taken this trade regardless. You could have seen this anywhere. I mean, this happened basically right after or right during PM session. It was a nice trade, sent price higher into the buy side liquidity we were looking for. And since then, we've just kind of moved sideways. And that's due to the elections tomorrow. So I'm taking the day off, maybe the day after that as well. We're just kind of going to see where price ends up. I'll update in the morning what my thoughts are, but who really knows what's going to happen? Please stay on the sidelines. Until tomorrow, good luck and good trading, everybody.